I'm speaking as someone who loves Bernie Sanders' message. I'm speaking as someone who thinks Bernie Sanders is a moral man. I'm speaking as someone who understands that Bernie Sanders has been instrumental or has been in the civil rights movement for quite a long time. The economic issues that Bernie Sanders speaks about affects us all. It's a catch-all. All of us will benefit from what he's talking about. But there are specific issues that only affect some of us, specifically people of color. That needs to be addressed as well. And we need the buy-in from everybody to ensure that those particular issues are addressed as well. I think it is important for one to take note that what Black Lives Matters is attempting to, is doing actually is not at all wrong. First of all, I think what they did in disrupting Netroots Nation 2015 was effective in that it changed the narrative. It ensured that something that is existential to black folks, the people of color, was actually placed on the agenda, was actually placed not only in the speeches of these of candidates, but actually placed in the lexicon, if you will, of the current election cycle. Absent what they did, it simply would not have happened. Look, there is a reason why there is a Black Lives Matter. There's a reason why they exist. It is specifically because at this point in time, irrespective of party, over the last several decades, well, since the inception of this country, black folks, people of color, have been treated differently by the justice system, and every single election cycle, folks have been coming to these communities to get votes, and these people expecting that things would get better. Yes, things have gotten better from worse times. However, things are still not as they should. How long should one ask a people to wait for some sort of equity within a social justice system? How long should they wait? With the advent of videos and America seeing what has been going on for decades with their own eyes now, it is in fact the opportune time for a movement like Black Lives Matter to metastasize, and that is exactly what is happening. And it's a good thing. Now, the way it was done at Netroots Nation 2015, effective. The way it was done yesterday in Seattle, I think its effectiveness speaks for itself. It was rather ineffective. Going forward, one would expect that as this movement matures, one would expect that as they get better in specifically coming up with requests of these candidates to handle a situation that is existential to people of color, existential to black folk, that they will get better at it. In the meantime, I think it is important for us to not attempt to demean the movement or to demonize the movement, but instead embrace the movement, ally with the movement to ensure that the ultimate goal, which is noble in fact, gets realized. Absent that, this election is meaningless. It is just then another inconsequential election. Now, I want to bring up one important subject because I was at Netroots and I saw the reaction by progressives to these progressives with Black Lives Matter. And it was not a nice thing to see from a particular segment, from a particular part of this group. It makes one, or it leads one to notice that the progressive movement isn't all that progressive in a lot of areas. I mean, we all got together to really get the Confederate flag down in South Carolina. We wanted that flag down because of what it represented. But most importantly, what we saw at Netroots Nation is the tenets of that Confederate flag, or not necessarily the tenets of that Confederate flag, but what that Confederate flag stands for still remains in the hearts of many. And until that changes, yes, Black Lives Matter and what they're putting out there, what they represent, is important because the heart is not enough. The codification of the results, or the codification of what we're looking for, the codification of justice is what is needed. And Black Lives Matter, hopefully, will actually be a catalyst in putting that on the map.